Hi, third grade class. We are back here doing some videos for language, for grammar time. This is language work text page 155, and we've been looking at adjectives. And these are when we use adjectives to compare two nouns. We use more if there's only two, and we use most if there's three or more. But sometimes instead of using more, some words you're able to add ER to instead of saying more, right? Instead of saying my cookie was more big than my brother's, I would say my cookie was bigger than my brother's. If we're comparing three or more, we're going to use most, or we can add the suffix est, right, instead of the biggest, right? Of all the students in the classroom, Jill's cookie was the biggest, all right? So we're comparing more than just two. Some adjectives change completely when used to compare. Examples of that are bad. We don't say badder, we say worse or worst. Same with good, better, and best. And those you've heard a lot, but maybe you haven't stopped to think about why you use one in some instances over another. So let's do some work today, just kind of reviewing some of that, maybe going back over, or some of this may be new. So let's just dive in and look here at Think A. They want us to underline the correct adjective in parentheses for each comparison. So in each of these four sentences, they give us two choices in parentheses. That makes it a little easier for us. We're just making a choice. Number one, at our piano recital, Emma was blank than Ethan. So we have to decide. We're comparing Emma and Ethan. So we're comparing two people. Would we say more nervous or nervouser? Well, hopefully, does one of those sound correct and the other one sound kind of made up? I think so, right? More nervous. We would say more nervous, right? You've probably never heard the word nervouser, right? Because it's not a word. So good job. Number two, Dad said that last night's sunset was the blank one he'd ever seen. Was it the most beautiful or the beautifulest one he'd ever seen? Which one of those sounds right? Most beautiful, right? We're comparing more than one sunset, or more than two sunsets, more than two sunsets. So we're going to say most beautiful. Number three, wow, this box is the blank one we have moved so far. Is it the most heavy or the heaviest? This one's a little bit trickier, right? Hopefully you said heaviest. There it is, heaviest. If not, just erase and change it. Heaviest is the correct answer. Notice how that Y changed to an I before they added EST. Oh, all these grammar rules are coming together to form these words. All right, number four. Charles is blank than his brother. Charles is more thoughtful, or Charles is thoughtfuler than his brother. Which one sounded right? More thoughtful is correct. I even had a hard time reading thoughtfuler. Yeah. So more thoughtful. More nervous, most beautiful, heaviest, and more thoughtful. Let's look at the bottom, or the middle section, I guess. Sorry, I thought that was the bottom. Think B. If we're comparing our dog to three other dogs, would we say that our dog is smart, smarter, or smartest? Well, we're comparing four dogs, right? One dog to three others. So we have to use the est in this one. So you would circle smartest. And you would all say that your dog is the smartest, those of you who have dogs. Number 2, your cold to your brother's cold. So I'm comparing your cold with your brother's. So how many people are we comparing? How many nouns are we comparing? 2. So we would use not badder and not worser, right? Worse is actually the only real word there anyways. But worse, right? My cold is worse than my brother's. Number 3, your handwriting this year to your handwriting last year. And this should be true. Would you say that it's gooder, best, or better? We're comparing 2 nouns. We're comparing this year and last year. Those are 2 things. So which of these would we use? Gooder is not a word, so we can't use that. But better is our choice, right? Because we're comparing 2 things. Number 4, a rose to a dandelion. So we're comparing 2 nouns. Would we say pretty, more pretty, or prettier? Well, we know it's not pretty because we're comparing. So it's either going to be more pretty or prettier. Which one do you think is right? Prettier is the correct answer. And just one more. If we're comparing an orange, a lemon, and a lime. So we're comparing 3 or more things. So we're either going to use most or add the suffix est. Is it most sweetest, sweeter, or sweetest? Yeah. It's just sweetest. The reason that we don't use this one is because we already have the est. We don't need to use most with it. That would just be too much. All right, so if you missed one, erase, fix it, and change your answer there. At the bottom here, we need to write a declarative sentence using the adjective smaller. So I need to be comparing at least 2 things, right? So in my sentence, I need to mention those 2 nouns that I am comparing. My sentence needs to start with a capital letter, needs to have a subject and a predicate, and it needs to have a period at the end because it's a declarative sentence. So go ahead and pause the video, write yourself a sentence, and you're thinking 3rd grade sentences. We're thinking around 5 to 7 words at least. Okay, and I will write one here for us to share when you're done. Okay, so I wrote a sentence, my bike is smaller than my brother's. So I'm comparing my bike with my brother's bike. So I'm sure you had a great sentence as well, comparing 2 things. All right, one is smaller than the other. All right, I hope this helped. I'll see you next time. We'll do some more work. We're going to start working with adverbs. We've been doing adjectives. We're going to add now adverbs. Okay, have a great day. I'll see you next time.